updates. Cheyenne River Tribe, it's not just Standing Rock Sioux Tribe, it's the Cheyenne River Tribe who is fighting this pipeline. They have filed a temporary restraining order against DAPL. And there is a court hearing scheduled for Monday to basically decide on that temporary restraining order. I believe they are citing their sacred lands being gone through, as well as environmental concerns. So up until Monday, DAPL is still drilling. Drilling doesn't take just a week. It could take anywhere from 2 to 3 months. So unless they're doing it at a Herculean pace, which is possible, the drilling of the pipeline is not going to happen like that. It could take 2 to 3 months. So Cheyenne River Tribe is scheduled to have a hearing on Monday for that temporary restraining order. If the judge grants it, DAPL would have to stop drilling immediately. Standing Rock Sioux Tribe, as far as I know, based on my discussions with some sources there, they have not filed anything yet, but they are weighing filing something called a summary judgment. A summary judgment is essentially asking a judge to rule without a trial. No trial or anything like that. Just, all the facts are presented and a judge rules. I'm not a legal expert, so if some of you are lawyers and I'm getting that wrong, feel free to comment. But that's my understanding of what a summary judgment is. But the tribe has not filed one yet, as far as I know. Why they have not filed one, I'm not sure. Essentially, what had happened was Standing Rock Sioux Chairman Dave Archambault had flown to Washington, D.C. on Tuesday to meet with President Trump and officials. And as soon as he got off the plane, he was made aware that the easement for the pipeline was going to be granted, and he canceled the meetings. So Standing Rock Sioux Tribe, I don't know if their plan is to wait to see how things play out with the Cheyenne Rivers temporary restraining order, or what's going on there. I've been reaching out. I have not gotten a firm response yet, so I will stay on that. I wanted to get into some other things with the Dakota Access Pipeline. On Tuesday, a judge ruled against water protectors. There was a lawsuit that the Water Protector Legal Collective had filed to make Morton County Police basically to stop them from brutalizing water protectors. I don't know the language, but it was essentially to rein in the Morton County Police Department. And of course, the judge ruled against the Water Protector Legal Collective, because in America, police could do whatever the hell they want. They could kill unarmed black people. They could brutalize Native Americans. They could brutalize environmental activists. And the people being brutalized are the agitators. But the people actually doing the brutalizing of unarmed people are hailed as heroes. That's the system we have. We had it under Obama, and we certainly have it under Trump. So a judge ruled against them on Tuesday. Yes, it was in North Dakota court. And now a report came out today. Let me read. This is at The Guardian. FBI Terrorism Task Force investigating Standing Rock activists. Before I read this, I just want to give you what I was experiencing there. The last night I was there were literally probably like 10 BIA agents just hanging out at the bar. Just hanging out at the bar behind me. There was an escalation in BIA police at Standing Rock from a week ago. A week ago, Donald Trump ordered more BIA police there. Now they're out in force at the Casino Hotel, which is basically the only hotel or anything really near the camps, for about an hour's drive. They have been arresting water protectors. I'm not going to get into all the water protectors they've arrested, but they've arrested 6 or 7 that I know over the last few days. Several of them on felony charges. Many of those charges, as we've seen with the other charges, are completely trumped up and bogus. And the FBI, according to The Guardian, FBI Terrorism Task Force is now investigating Standing Rock activists. They're not investigating the police that are shooting off water cannons and rubber bullets and grenades and tear gas and mace. They don't need to be investigated. It's unarmed environmental activists and Native Americans. Okay. The FBI is investigating political activists campaigning against the Dakota Access Pipeline, diverting agents charged with preventing terrorist attacks to instead focus their attention on indigenous activists and environmentalists. This isn't The Onion. I'm not reading from The Onion. This is The Guardian. The Guardian has established that multiple officers within the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force have attempted to contact at least three people tied to the Standing Rock, quote, water protector movement in North Dakota. The purpose of the officers' inquiries into Standing Rock and scope of the task force's work remain unknown. Agency officials declined to comment. But the fact that the officers have even tried to communicate with activists is alarming to free speech experts who argue that anti-terrorism agents have no business scrutinizing protesters. Quote, the idea that the government would attempt to construe this indigenous-led, nonviolent movement into some kind of domestic terrorism investigation is unfathomable to me, said Lauren Reagan, a civil rights attorney who has provided legal support to demonstrators who were contracted by representatives of the FBI. It's outrageous, it's unwarranted, and it's unconstitutional. Reagan, who has regularly visited Standing Rock and is the executive director of the Civil Liberties Defense Center in Oregon, said she learned of 3 cases in which officers with the task force, known as JTTF, tried to talk to activists in person. She described the encounters as attempted knocks and talks, meaning law enforcement showed up at people's doors without a subpoena or warrant and tried to get them to voluntarily cooperate with an interview. This come off a little illegal to you? The 3 individuals, who include a Native American and a non-Indigenous activist, asserted their Fifth Amendment rights and did not respond to the officers, according to Reagan, who declined to identify them to protect their privacy and out of fear of retribution. 2 of them were contacted in North Dakota and a third at their home outside the state. She said all 3 contacts were made in recent weeks after Trump's inauguration. Trump, a former investor, he's not a former investor, he's currently invested. Trump, a former investor in Energy Transfer Partners, the Texas-based firm behind the pipeline, took executive action in his first week in office to expedite the project. On Wednesday, the workers began drilling to complete the pipeline across the Missouri River. Okay, so far, good article by The Guardian, but I got to call out The Guardian and every other media outlet that is falsely saying Donald Trump is a former investor in Energy Transfer Partners. He has not shown his tax returns, and he has not. Have you seen his stock portfolio? I haven't. He hasn't shown his stock portfolio. He's just like at first when asked about his taxes, he said, nothing to see here, nothing to see here. I'm going to show it. Now he says, no, I'm not going to show my tax returns. These media outlets are literally just taking Donald Trump's word that he sold his shares in Energy Transfer Partners. Yet there's been all these articles just link. They say former investor and link to an article that just say he sold his shares. There's no documentation that he sold his shares. There's no stock portfolio, no tax documentation, nothing. So as far as I'm concerned, just like I need proof to assert that Russia hacked the DNC or hacked John Podesta, I want proof that Donald Trump sold his shares in Energy Transfer Partners. And also, when asked if he sold his shares in Phillips 66, which owns 25% of the pipeline, his spokesperson wouldn't respond. So he's not a former investor of the pipeline. The JTTF revelation comes at a time when there have been increasing concerns at Standing Rock about law enforcement surveillance, police violence, and the targeted arrests and prosecutions of activists. By the way, on Tuesday, when the easement was granted, and Wednesday, people couldn't get any cell service by the camp because they're jamming the signals, because they don't want communication going out. And this is law enforcement that are jamming the signals of nonviolent water protectors. Why are they doing that? They're jamming the signals of a water protector movement. Maybe to help cover what's going on there? Maybe to help cover up what the oil company is doing? Since the summer, law enforcement officials have made roughly 700 arrests, in some cases leading to serious felony charges and possibly lengthy state prison sentence. Following recent indictments, at least 6 activists are now facing charges in federal courts. Rumors about JTTF have caused further stress among the activists. Reagan said she was able to confirm the identity of one of the JTF officers, Andrew Creed, who attempted to contact an activist. Reached by phone, he declined to comment to The Guardian, saying, "I can't talk to you," before hanging up. An FBI spokesperson also declined to answer questions. We are not in a position to provide a comment as to the existence of an investigation. Okay, so what you see here, as I reported when I was at Standing Rock, is you have the state North Dakota legal system literally in cahoots with the cops to trump up charges, fake charges, from everybody to Red Fawn, to Brennan Nastasio, to Mike Fasig, to Michael Marcus. They are concocting charges. I saw it up close. I spoke with the water protectors. I spoke with eyewitnesses. They are concocting charges. And now you have the FBI, who is supposed to be working on things like, homegrown terrorism, ISIS, trying to stop domestic terrorist attacks, like real terror, people with weapons, people who post violent things on social media, cybersecurity. This is what the FBI is supposed to be working on. Yet they are sending representatives, and this isn't new, by the way. That poor girl, Sophia Wilansky, who had her arm nearly maimed. The FBI was looking into that, but not looking into the police officers that shot grenades at her and others, but looking into her and the water protectors. That was the FBI doing that. And now they're going down to North Dakota and pretty much intimidating and threatening unarmed water protectors without warrants and without any legal cause. Like I said in prior reports, it's not, I'm not going to say that water protectors have never done anything. This is a 10 month battle. There have been some incidents where, water protectors might have thrown water bottles or something at a cop, or water protectors lit vehicles on fire. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That is few and far between. That's not a daily occurrence. I would say 85 to 90% of the protests, of the demonstrations, were nonviolent and peaceful. So you can't report as if a few isolated incidents. Some of the incidents, by the way, where they were lighting fire, it was literally strategically to keep the police away because they are coming and tear gassing them. So the fact that the FBI is coming, it's not a surprise. We know who the current president is. We know he does not care about the rule of law, which several judges have now shown you. If you're living under a rock, a Ninth Circuit judge, 3 judges yesterday ruled to continue against the travel ban. The travel ban cannot go on. But Trump doesn't care. He's going to send police officers. He's going to send the FBI. He wants his pipeline through. He's going to make money off of it. He wants to help his sugar daddy big oil executives. He picked Rick Perry as energy secretary, who before he was energy secretary was literally on the board of the oil company, Energy Transfer Partners, and has made hundreds of thousands of dollars from Energy Transfer Partners. The Secretary of State, is Rex Tillerson. Rex Tillerson, the former CEO of ExxonMobil. They're not hiding it. It's out in the open. That's the only good thing about Trump. Democrats, Hillary Clinton, they try to hide their corruption. Trump doesn't care. It's on his forehead. So this is obviously outrageous. I have been there 6 times. I could tell you I have not only interviewed at this point probably over 1,000 water protectors, but I've also become friends with several people down there. I'm not telling you this because I'm personally against the pipeline, which I make clear. I'm telling you this because I've objectively seen it. It's a peaceful movement. But it seems that in America, there's no appetite to actually investigate police. Were these FBI agents, are any of these FBI agents there to witness actually what the police are doing? No, they're just taking the police's accounts for it, which is essentially what the media does. Well, the police said this, so let's put it in the headline. That's the story. I'm not impugning all police officers in America. I have a friend or two who's a police officer in New York. They're not all bad. A lot of police officers genuinely want to protect you and me, and got into it for the right reasons, and make big sacrifices, both in their actual lives and with their family. But there's a lot of bad police officers that are not only untrained, but are itching to hurt people. And that's what's going on in North Dakota with the Morton County Police. It's been going on for months. It's a human rights violations. The United Nations has been down there several times. They have gotten accounts of what's going on. But just because, right now it looks like the pipeline's going through, doesn't mean you stop. Call the Department of Justice. Call Morton County Sheriff. Call the North Dakota governor. It might seem feeble. It might seem like it's not going to work. But you know what? Look at what just happened. There were protests all over the country against this xenophobic, Islamophobic travel ban, and it's been struck down. Would it have been struck down without all that? Maybe. But it certainly put it in the national discussion. It certainly put a spotlight on the judges deciding. Judges are human too, folks. Yes, share this video. Share it far and wide. I say on my public Facebook page, which I told you in the beginning, go press like on my public page. I'm not posting anymore at my personal page. Get busy living or get busy dying. Shawshank Redemption. You could lay over and cry about it, or you could keep peacefully fighting. So I'm going to keep updating you as best I can. I'm staying on it. But it's really outrageous that this is going on in America, that the FBI, instead of actually focusing on real terrorism, is essentially serving as a prop for a greedy oil company. That shouldn't be happening in America. But frankly, this is what's been going on for decades to black people in Baltimore and other the inner cities that Donald Trump loves talking about. This has been going on to black people and people who don't have a voice, who don't have lobbyists, who don't have money, and who live in poverty and are forced, frankly, to sell drugs to live. I'm not saying that's what is going on in this case, but this kind of abuse of the legal system has been going on to Native Americans for, frankly, centuries, and has been going on to black people in America also for centuries. So as a white man, I'm not going to just stand by and let it be. I have the platform to show you, and you as activists, as viewers, as people, as progressives, as whatever you are, you got to pick up a phone. You got to call your local legislator, because you know what? They know what's going on. Chuck Schumer knows what's going on. Nancy Pelosi knows what's going on. Elizabeth Warren knows what's going on. Dick Durbin knows what's going on. They're too busy doing photo ops against Trump's travel ban, which is important. I give them credit for fighting him. I think they're doing it for political reasons. Elizabeth Warren, in her glory this week, getting shut down by Mitch McConnell, raised a lot of money and sent out fundraising emails. You think of that how you want. But the bottom line is you're not going to get any results if you sit there and just feel sorry for yourself and say, oh, we were defeated. This is a long war for justice in America. And there's going to be a lot of defeats. A lot of defeats. Trust me, when I go around the country, it's mostly defeat, what I'm covering. And it's depressing. It's depressing going around covering Flint and Indiana and Standing Rock. It's not easy to do it. But I have to do it because that's just how I'm wired. It's not easy, 9 out of 10 stories you cover, not getting immediate results. Because I'm not in this just to get views and go viral. I'm in this to change things. I'm in this to make a difference. I think that's what you should be doing as a journalist. Too often people are just in this to make money and serve as robotic stenographers telling you what this side says and this side says.